good morning, good afternoon, or good night, depending on the time zone. And welcome to the Marquesina podcast. Today we got a very special guest, Carlos Emory from the Quebradillas Pirates.
Your name,
Let me let it settle.
You already know me. And Pablo, I don't know if
Pablo
you see yourself. Like, you can move at front.
Yeah, I can't see myself. I'm too chill, right? I look like too chill. I'm too comfortable.
So, first of all, thank you, Carlos, for having us in your house, man.
Sure.
Thank you.
That's great.
Man, you say yes pretty fast, so we're thankful for that. A question that we always ask the person are with us in our podcast is, who are them, right? So who is Carlos Emory? For the people that doesn't know you, who is Carlos Emory?
A lot of people, I get that question pretty often. Usually when I ask who Carlos Emory is to myself, I'm a humble guy. You know, I'm a hard worker. I'm just on a mission. I'm a man on a mission. You know, I have 3 kids, and you know, when my kids came into my life, it changed my life. You know what I mean? So, man, all I can really say is I'm just really just a humble man on a mission, just trying to look for a bright future. You know, I have a lot of talents in my life that I'm pretty much good at. You know, a lot of things like wide horizon of things that I could reach to. So yeah, I'm just a man on a mission. Just whatever it takes to be successful and move forward, you can count me in every time.
So there you have it, right? I think that we know that you are a pretty hard worker because we are from Ponce, so we saw you working with the Leones de Ponce.
Sure.
So when you were younger, you were a rookie, basically.
Yeah. Yes.
So we saw you. So we can say it that we saw how hard worker you are.
Most definitely.
That time was very exciting because when in 2013 in Ponce you guys went to the final two.
Yeah.
And against
Quebradillas with Kevin Lynch. I remember that.
That
Oh
dude.
my God, he was.
What a series.
Wow.
I still see him in nightmares.
Anybody that knows about that Cavs team back in 2013 knows about Kevin Lynch because he killed the league just by himself. So that was crazy. I remember that.
And I remember because I was like 10, 11 years old going to the games, and in 2013 I think it was the first year like Ponce came back because the Leones de Ponce had like a 3-year. They won
recess, like they were out for 2
years. They had a lot of recess.
We didn't have a team, and then that stretch when you guys
they have you. They start to get Carlos Rivera, Daniel Basayo, and you and the rest of other rookies with you. So we remember because it was a very excited moment for us because we were teenagers.
No.
So we were preteen.
Rosario was also there.
Mikey Rowe.
Yeah.
That was my guy too. Yeah, that was my guy.
For getting trouble, we're gonna talk about more about your career there. But what led you like to play basketball? Like who gave you the ball in your hand like to start playing?
You want me to be truthful about it?
Sure.
So my whole life, I pretty much my mother is really young, you know, so she had me when she was like 12 going on 13. So my mom's like 46.
Wow. She's young.
Yeah, very young. I have a very young mother, so you know, growing up, I had to grow up pretty fast in my life, you know, just like, you know, when it comes to taking care of yourself or, you know, when you gotta put food on the table, you know, there are things in life that we have to do to make sure that we make ends meet, you know what I mean? So, you know, but picking up that basketball, that was just all on me. Like I just always used to watch everybody play basketball, and I just got interested. I'm like, oh, you know, damn, you dribbling the ball like that. Oh, damn, dunking the ball. Wow, just pulling up a 3 like that. I just wanted to imitate, you know, like players like that when I was growing up. And like, you know, I got the chance to see like, you know, the little Michael Jordan phase, you know, him coming out of his years playing with the Wizards in the end, you know, I got the chance to see that. A lot of people that were younger than me didn't get to see that. They seemed like they know Michael Jordan after he left. I mean, when I watched the hard work, you know, and then people were calling him the GOAT, like that, it just, you know, like I said, you want to imitate that life.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's, sometimes it's not even just basketball. You just see like what it brings.
The lifestyle. Yeah.
Like you see the basketball, you see him killing in basketball, and you see everything that come with it. So I even got the man tatted on me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so I was like, oh yeah, I just got to live like Michael Jordan one day. And my whole life I was just like living that type of imitation, like just the hard work, you just got to put in that effort every night on the floor to get what you're gonna get.
Other than basketball, do you took any other sport?
The truth is, I was better at baseball and football than I was at basketball, bro. That's crazy to say. Like I was better at baseball and football. And
football, I play football. How was that? Tell me that experience,
man. So my
we don't got football,
no, for sure.
I'm sad. I can't take my frustrations, but
so as a kid, like, you know, everybody thought like I was gonna go to the NFL actually, and even worse, I was like I was a pitcher. Like I was a better baseball player than I was at football and basketball first, so everybody thought I was a pitcher.
MLB.
Yeah, so I never even, like, I thought it was the most boring sport, you know. I was like, dang, I just can't just sit at the mound and just like throw the ball all day. First of all, if they hit the ball, I got to try to catch it too. Like, nah, that's just doing a lot. Like,
yeah, I'm standing here, then I gotta run.
It's gonna be a little vicious out there, but really though, the football part, like I thought it was gonna be the real deal. Like everybody was calling me Little Randy Moss because, you know, I had balance, I could jump, and like I had a like hand IQ, like coordination with the ball. Like,
player.
So I knew what to do on the field. I was pretty fast. I was probably like fastest in my class. Like, you know, it was a lot of things that made me like become a huge impact for that sport, and people were like, okay, like let me get my hands on him, you know. But you know, that was just something that like was in my eye in one moment in my life. Like I think I could have done it, but then I was just watching all my friends playing basketball, and I was like, oh man, like they were like, no bro, you're in the basketball, baller, you're a baller,
leave the sticks.
Yeah, so, you know, don't want to say my friends persuaded me and stuff like that, but, you know, at the end of the day, I mean, I grew up so fast, I made like kind of like a man decision. I never had nobody whisper in my ear.
You got anybody that you said, oh, this was my boy that took me to the sport, to the love?
Man, you know what? Yeah, I wish I could be the one to say that, but I think I was always the friend that dragged my homies to like come to the court, but because I was just always the better one, you know, so I was just like, yo, let's go to the court and let me just bust their ass real quick. Y'all can come watch or you can play on my team. Like, that's what we're gonna do, all right? Because I gotta make it. You guys want me to make it, this is what we gotta do, right? Exactly. That's kind of how my like homeboys looked at me a little bit. They were like, you know, I guess like if you're gonna make it, if you want to say they tried to help me, they just always encouraged me. That was pretty much it. Like, yo, keep going. Like, you really actually got it. And then that's where kind of the takeoff is at.
Yeah. It's funny because of two things. When we were coming here, one of the questions that we haven't written yet was who is Carlos Emory's GOAT, and Pablo has. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Michael Jordan.
Damn.
Like he said, I'm pretty sure he's gonna play basketball, Michael Jordan. And then Ivan said we need to ask him if he play other sports, and he was like, man, those big players like in baseball, Aaron Judge, all those guys, LeBron James, they play football. Like they're bouncy players, strong players, fast players. And he said football. Like we didn't say baseball, but he said football. Yeah, he's pretty bouncy. He's fast.
For sure.
Yeah, he probably played on football.
No, and for real. All-American piece played football.
Yeah, he's American.
That's we just got to stick to to what it really is. Like, no, most American. I mean, you could go from Taekwondo, Rolon. You can go to. I mean, he played football too.
Yeah.
I mean, you can name any kind. I mean, you go to Mike Rosario, even though he was known as a basketball player in you know, college at Florida. Like, you know, all my guys that grew up in my class, like Chris Gaston's and all the players like that, everybody probably had the chance to play like football at some point because, I mean, when you have that athletic like persona per se, I mean, it's already gonna be like brought to the table. You know what I mean? They looking at you, they already analyzing you, and they're like, yo, you know how to play this position real quick? And then, yo, next minute you know, you play.
You're playing the position.
Now you're the quarterback of the year. I was like, oh, I didn't know I could do that. Whoops.
I'm good enough.
Well, it's kind of like him. Well, it's different. He does judo.
Okay.
But
yeah,
he really like, it was a moment like, I didn't expect nothing. Let me try.
I didn't expect nothing. Like,
we got this weight division over here.
No, that's a fact though. That's how it works.
Yeah, it was like, I'm good enough. Yeah, at the end I was like competing in national competition, but it was like that, right?
Okay.
Do you know how to do that? Yeah, come.
Thank you. That's really what it is though. That's why I think I love like sports because, you know, most of the time for me, like I hate the politics of it. You know, he gets paid, so he plays. You know, but you know, when somebody's doing the job, you give them the opportunity. You know, you never get a Victor Wembanyama all the time or something like that. But then, you know, there's still Zach Collins on the bench that's gonna go do his job type shit. Like, so that's kind of like how I think about it with real life. Like, you know, you got Russell Westbrook that comes off the bench now. But it's for some reason for the games that they're winning, when he's doing his job, the game is going like this, you know, and that's kind of like the point like where I am in life. Like, you know, if I just the same with you guys that talked to me earlier before this, you guys are like, oh, what about Oregon? Well, the reason why I probably got the opportunity, like, for a lot of things was because I did my job. Like, I didn't have to be the...
You just have to do your role.
Yeah, I didn't have to be Damian Dotson, which he got to go play for New York, or, you know, E.J. Singler, Arsalan Kazemi, he played with me. He went to play with Philadelphia, the 76ers. Like, you know, a lot of people got the opportunities, and their options were wide open. Man, I wish I took college way more serious growing up.
How was that experience in college?
Like, I'm not gonna lie, college was one of the funnest moments in my life. I never thought I'd even make it to college. I'm not even gonna lie to you. From my childhood, man, I would have never thought I'd even make it to junior college. And I got the chance to play with Jay Crowder in junior college and won a national shit.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the ring I got on right now. I always wear it because that's like one of my biggest accomplishments. Like, because I was a key player. And you know, like,
double A champ.
It's just what it is. Like, I'll take that. I'll take that every day. Like, because we went all the way and we made it to Kansas, Hutchinson, Kansas. I remember, and I wish I could remember the team's name, but they had this dude that was killing. I want to say he played in the NBA too, but he was killing us.
You from Kansas?
It wasn't. It was a team from New York. It was like a JUCO team from New York, and they came. All the best teams that played in their like conferences met in Hutchinson, Kansas. And I guess like we ended up like playing like I don't know, the New York team for the championship. And I ain't gonna lie, on paper we were the best team in Texas or whatever. But, you know, this New York team was just crazy. Like, they had all name players. We were like, oh my God, everybody was just like going somewhere. And it was crazy because, you know, Jay Crowder, his father was Corey Crowder, he played in the league. You know, I knew a little bit of info about people. You know, I don't have nobody in my family ever play in the NBA. I'm the first player I feel like out of my family to ever take off and get that opportunity.
To accomplish.
Yeah, to at least get that goal, like to set the standard. Like, okay, this is what it is. Maybe for my kids, maybe they look at it. They like, I need to do better now. Like, I need to make it. Like, you know, but that's another convo. But in this moment, like, I was with Jay Crowder. We're together. Like, you know, I'm looking at him like, yo, you know, I know he's probably gonna make it. You know, he went to Marquette after we won. So we beat them. We won the chip. I'm talking about we're going crazy.
Okay, let me get into that tournament a little bit. How was that Final Four? Those matchups, those last matchups.
The college atmosphere.
So for the JUCO part, that shit was just that it was just another thing, like, because I never thought that JUCO gets that serious. Now when I got to Oregon, when we got to the Sweet 16, that was another thing. Like when we won our conference, like we won the Pac-12 championship.
Yeah.
Like that was like, oh my God, that was crazy because they had Shabazz Muhammad.
That's the conference.
They had first round pick for the like.
They had the best, one of the top picks for the NBA. So I'm like, oh man, I'm like, man, there's gonna be a game, you know. But it was crazy though because we had a squad too, and there was like, I think maybe out of the players that were like kind of looked at on our team like real strongly, EJ Singler because he was Kyle Singler's brother.
Yeah.
Damian Dotson because he was just at the time he was he had a radar on him. You know, everybody was wanting to know about Damian Dotson. We had Dominic Artis. He was from Oakland, California. Like, I mean, we had Tony Woods. That was like my guy in college. You know, we grew up together. We pretty much grew up throughout the whole college experience. That was cool. And you know, we had players, like I said, but they had them.
They had ballers.
All right, you know. So when we met them and played, you know, that was crazy because we put it on them. You know, I think I had 20, and I think I dropped 20 and I dunked on Shabazz.
That's the UConn game.
No, that was on UCLA. And I had got the chance. I dunked on Shabazz, like, you know, it's kind of crazy. But I caught him slid. The ball went off the rim. He jumped for it. I tip slam.
I see. That is something that when you guys play, like people like they have names and people know who they are.
The level.
You see like this is my chance because there's scouts watching him, but there might be scouts like you see who's this kid,
right?
And then, like they plug it's like the interest.
Yeah, for sure.
So because that's how people like. Then hey, we got an extra second round pick. Let's pick this guy.
No, for sure.
That's why.
What's the difference for you between high school and in college? I know that there's a big difference, but
talent-wise.
Yeah, talent-wise, because like when we're coming, we said those guys are in Division 1.
Right.
Normally they ball out.
They're monsters in high school. Like you know that from those 12 guys are in the roster. Mostly they are monsters in high school. When you look at the numbers, like we have
ranked like top 20.
Like we have dudes that are making 30 points in high school, 12 rebounds, 4 blocks, and when you move to college, they're like 12 and 4 rebounds. And
I'm gonna give you the perfect example of a player. Like, so when I was in high school, everybody always talked about this one player. It was Cole Aldridge. So Cole Aldridge went to Jefferson at the time when I was at Eastview. And, you know, when we heard Cole Aldridge, everybody was just always, oh my God, you know, it's Cole Aldridge. But at the time in high school, it was kind of crazy. Hate to bring up that type of life that happened, but in high school it really didn't go so well between me and the coaching staff. Like, I don't know if like the guys probably didn't have like a good relationship with me. I wouldn't say the whole coaching staff, but there was like the head coach, like
things happen.
You know, that he didn't really have it good with me. Like, and you know, that's just what happened. You know, and I ended up not being on the varsity team. I always played on the sophomore team and then the JV team. And it was kind of sucked for me because I was like, oh, I know I can play, like, but you know, it's kind of like what happens when you go from the hood and then you go to a suburban school. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to say that I take my values from where I come from and then bring it out there, but you know, the transition is probably not what they like.
Yeah.
And that's okay because, you know, in life, as I got older, I just have to understand, and that's what pushed me more forward to even get where I could go, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But truth is that in high school, you just knew you always had to go to school in order to play. Like when you get to college, like you know you don't have to go to college. But if you don't get those grades though, Like you're about to be minimized real quick, and you know, like your opportunity gets low because when you're a student athlete,
student comes first.
Your student. That's why they say student athlete.
Yeah.
Like because you know when you take care of your business, then you get all the antiques that come with it. Like you get all the valuables and everything that they want to give you. It comes with the package. You know, not everybody gets to be LeBron James. You know, that's how I say it. So. If you just take care of what you gotta take care of in the classroom, I promise you things will probably go well for you. So that's what the transition for me. That's what it was. Cause high school, I didn't get to play, so I didn't study.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I had to go get my. That's why I went to junior college and.
There was Howard.
Yeah, Howard. Yeah.
Like because we know because we were like looking for your. Like info, like, obviously we need to prepare before our interview, and we saw Howard, and there was no points at all. I was like how he moved from Howard CC to Oregon Ducks, like how he was from Howard to a Division One.
That's
team.
interesting because you went from junior college to playing Division One.
I say it like this: I went from not even playing my senior year in high school to get my GED, to going to junior college, and then to win a chip.
That's
crazy.
surreal.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah,
That's
crazy.
and then to look at it, it's like I'm walking, and then to be a key player in the role, it just makes me think more because I'm like, damn, how could I not believe that I probably don't make it to the next level? You know, like how? You know what I'm saying? I went to G League too. You know, I went to the Iowa Energy. You know, I did that part.
Yeah.
But then to not even make it further when I knew it's like you don't want to never say like, oh, well, I did as much work as that guy. You know, I don't want to be that guy. Did I put in the work or not?
Yeah.
And then, you know, I noticed that, like I said, like I want to say that Jay Crowder's father, Corey Crowder, played in the NBA and he got the chance. But then I look at Bronny James and then I'm like, well,
that's frustrating.
I don't want to say no. I don't want to say nothing. I'm like, well, damn, you know, maybe.
Yeah.
It kind of like dogs you a little bit in your heart. You're like, oh man.
But the thing is that
I can't understand people right now.
for Bronny, I think like being a 55th pick, I think he is where he's supposed to be in the G League.
I mean, maybe 55th pick in the G League.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of like how I feel about that. But then it's just like I know some players in the BSN right now.
Yeah, they can play.
I gotta give him that. You know,
it's like coming from 3 points in the
There's a lot
in college, something like that.
I think there's a lot of people in the NBA right now that I think there's people in the BSN better than they're in the NBA right now. They have even guaranteed money.
Hands down.
Thanasis, you talking about Thanasis Antetokounmpo?
No.
Like,
I was gonna talk to you about Oregon. Like in Oregon, obviously they have like one of the like people say the best Puerto Rican player, Piculín Ortiz.
Okay.
He played in Oregon, and over there they have like pictures of him and everything. And Gary Payne also played there, right, in Oregon?
Yeah.
Did you actually met them before, Gary Payne? Because
All right, so I didn't get to meet Gary Payton, but I got to meet Uncle Phil. We call him Uncle Phil.
Oh, okay.
So Phil Knight, we got the chance to meet him, and when we got to meet him, I think at the time, I don't want to say that's when I met LeBron, Anthony Davis, all those guys. They were on the trip to go visit the Nike facility. I think it was the Team USA at the time. And when they went there, you know, like, of course, we're in college, so we're looking at these big. I see LaMarcus Aldridge, I see LeBron, I see Melo, I see on all these guys. I'm like, God damn, niggas just walking on everybody's shoulders. I'm like, oh man.
they're big dudes like that.
And I'm in college, and don't get me wrong, in college I was a lot bigger than I was now, because in college they kind of bulk you up a little bit, and our football team was crazy. So, you know, they were winning. They were like number one in the nation at the time. Like, I remember that team like it was yesterday. They were winning every game, and it was crazy because we were winning too. And so, you know, Oregon was on top of the map, you know.
They're basically the two most important sports in college, like basketball and football.
Like how does one school have one of the best, like I think at one point we were Oregon Ducks, we were number one in the nation for like a day or two, like, because we weren't losing.
Yeah.
And nobody doesn't really know that, but then it's just like, how we don't have any of the players that were playing with us in the league, like, because everybody, there was like players like Jonathan Lloyd, and we just had so many players like Asha Olu. Like it was so many players on our team that was just like taking care of business. Gary Sims, like he was our sniper. Like he couldn't miss from three.
Yeah.
Man, if I could just name all them players and all the good times that like not even good times, just all the hard work we put on the court with our coach. Man, I promise you, we were some dogs out there.
Man, I know college it's fun for me too. College was really fun. But how was now getting for the business right now? How do you get to Puerto Rico, to play in Puerto Rico?
So after my senior year at Oregon, like, you know, we when we were in the tournament, like we lost to Louisville, like in the Sweet 16, and at the time I was with Coach Fish, and I want to believe he was talking to me about like all my options and stuff, and you know what I can do and everything. And I forgot who it was that gave me a ring. It was like I knew I was put into the draft, but I forgot the person's name that called me and was like, "Yo, you Puerto Rican, right?" Like, "Yo." Oh, it was an agent, Rafael Otero. And he was just talking to me, and he's like, "Yo, I can't, you know, actually this is my guy, like, and to this day, you know, like he'll give me a ring every now and then."
A good relationship.
Yep, he'll just say what's up, and me and him fell out. I wish you know things probably could have went different between me and him, but you know, when things start going bad in the life of, you know, putting players in places, like, you know, sometimes agents fall back, players fall back, that little relationship. But long story short, he was the one that kind of was like, "Yo, get your grandparents' information. I know they're Puerto Rican. You got family from Santurce, okay, make it happen." I was like, "Oh, okay, bad, yeah, that's what." I must have gave him the info. They found out my grandfather like was in Santurce too. They was like, "Yeah, you is Puerto Rican, you know, because my dad's Puerto Rican." And they were like, "Yo, we're just gonna put you in the draft," you know, and that's kind of how it happened. And I know Ponce,
history.
then Ponce got me after the draft, after I was playing after the G League or whatever. Yeah. And bam, I ended up being with Ponce, and that was kind of crazy for me because I was like, I'm out here in Puerto Rico, like what's up with this league out here? You know, I'm thinking like I'm gonna bust that ass out here, you know. But then I'm just the league. I found out how tough the league was. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, I'm feeling it down here.
Before that, you never visited Puerto Rico?
I never. Probably like as a kid or something, like, and I don't remember, like maybe my grandma or something, but before that, probably not.
Do you know about the story that I think Carmelo on his podcast, he said that before he went to Syracuse, he came here to practice, to try out for Ponce.
And then Ponce cut him, and I heard that whole story. I kind of look at it. Like, when I think about that type of stuff, I'm like, dang, man, like I say, do you look at it like that? Like as like, you know, a player comes and like maybe at the time if he doesn't give you what you want, then he's probably not good enough. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's kind of like the game of life. Like if I always say like kind of like don't say perfect place, perfect time, because ain't nothing perfect. But right place, right time is always going to be the opportunity to do it. Like, and then it's just like that. It's like Melo came here. They probably cut him. That probably turned him up a little bit. Like what? Now he's NBA. And then who suffers? You know what I'm saying? Now Ponce now it's just a living memory.
Exactly. And it's pretty funny because the next year there's also a story that he was gonna play with Puerto Rico national team, but he discovered that he played with Puerto Rico, he will not be able to play with United States because of the ranking. He decided to play with United States. But it's very funny because that was like 2002, 2003. Because he was drafted in 2003. And then Puerto Rico won against USA. So it's very funny. And then Carmelo made himself basically one of the most dominant player in FIBA.
No,
Bro. Would you imagine Carmelo in that PR team?
It would be
that would be different, man. That would be tough.
it would be
And no pickle him, pero.
Here,
They had a pickle.
Still- that victory that victory against USA is a national holiday here.
Man, for sure. Everybody remembers that day.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Man, when I hear like a Arroyo or Ayuso
Yeah.
or all them start
That's
talking,
crazy.
just
Yeah.
like I just laugh about it. I'm like, oh man, you guys were lit that day.
Yeah.
But what about today? Like I promise you, you're not beating them today. I would congratulate them on that historic like.
The thing is,
historic team.
because of that win, like Ayuso got opportunity in the NBA.
Yeah, very player.
He played like he didn't play like he got opportunity in a lot of teams. Arroyo had played 8 years in the league.
Yeah,
Also,
Jay Barrera got some
Yeah.
love, but I mean obviously it was already.
AJ, yeah, he was.
Yeah,
But the
it was
other
already locked in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it make USA take things like a little bit tougher. Like
Yeah.
hey, we can relax. I guess
Exactly.
there's little things because these little things can beat us.
Yeah, and then I mean everybody's getting better, bro.
Yeah, everybody's getting better.
You go to France, you go to anybody
Now,
else.
France is
now,
crazy. Like
just
next 2022, 28.
Even for Puerto Rico in the future, we got a lot of people in the league right now, like Enrique Freeman, we got Strotter, and right now he's playing a lot of minutes in Denver. And
It's crazy.
obviously Alvaro, he's already had like commitment with the national team.
Shit, if you even going to talk serious, you could say Tremont Waters got the chance.
Yes.
You could say a lot of players.
But like 50%.
I mean, and there's still going to be like more and more like opportunity because people are like you say when they see NBA players come down here and they see players from the league that kill the NBA players or the NBA players are not even noticed down here. I'll give you a perfect example. Lance Stevenson, where is he?
He played like
he came with Ponce and
He played a
just
few
like-
games, did something, and then it was like.
He played with
we
the
got
guitar.
Michael Beasley.
Yeah, like
Beasley.
all right, that's a perfect example again. He came down here, but did he win?
No, like, he put up numbers, but he
Put
didn't.
out number, but then.
I give you another example, and he's trying to get back to the NBA. He might get the chance. Jahlil Okafor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was, and he don't get me wrong.
No,
Like,
but-
I look at David Stockton, for example, and I'm like, okay, David Stockton's really good.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, like I say, the only reason he might not probably get the opportunity is because he ain't winning yet.
Yeah.
You can put the numbers, but you got to be a winner.
Yeah.
they're gonna
Your opinion, who's the best point guard right now, Angel or Stockton?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna go with Stockton every time.
Stockton.
I like Angel because Angel is like he's a point guard, but Stockton is a lot better shooter than him. Like spot up, like Stockton's gonna hit that, and he's gonna get you the ball too. Like even though I'm not trying to say Angel
opinion-
not gonna get you the ball, but I've seen both of them play now, and Stockton is tough. Like, and I could guard Stockton, but I can for sure guard Angel.
Yeah, but just that Stockton is like really. For me, he's a really good player because he could shoot, he could pass. Only with those two, you're just a guessing game, though. Or
Yeah, you have to
He can
play.
play
yeah.
D. He can play D.
Yeah, he plays D. Man, he takes charges. Like,
Yeah,
and then you know
he can
what?
play D.
I like gritty players.
Yes.
Like I like a player that like he gonna hit you, and then you know like shit, whoa, shit, what's up, baby? Like we gonna play the role or shit like we're gonna play ball. Like because if you hit me now, I'm just gonna fall on the ground. And now you're out the game. I've done it. People do that to me all the time. I can name so many players, but I'll just keep that on camera right now.
The little things, the little things that change the game. Like
It is a
when
little
you
bit.
take an offensive foul, those little shit that player need to go to the bench now, and he's the one in charge of the tempo of the game. So everything changed for the other team.
But then I just want to throw the thing back at y'all. The reason why David and Okafor ain't in the league is because they didn't win. But then when you look at the Manatee team or the Kawas team, that when people win, they get the opportunity.
Yeah.
They gone.
we're gone. Yeah.
It's just what it is.
It could be NBA or Euro. Same money.
I'm like Catalina. Look, all right. Besides a Mike Scott or something that played in the NBA, right? What about the point guard,
Tremont Waters?
Nah, the other one before Tremont Waters came.
Damn.
From the bench.
Goodwin?
Goodwin. Yeah.
Goodwin. No, he's a bucket.
Come on, like you look at players like him, Brandon Goodwin. Okay, but didn't win.
Yeah.
Yo, he's a great scorer. Like he'll go play in China.
A good example is like Manatee. They got to the final this year.
Reserve that Puerto Rico had that was like a few weeks.
I don't know.
Doing Bacon.
Oh,
Wayne was
also bucket.
I like him a lot when it was in Ponce, but same thing, like numbers and not.
Yeah, you just got to really be realistic, and then you got to look at, and then you kind of like bring it back, and you look at Jezreel de Jesus, and you're like, well, he's going out there, he's getting the job done, but then it's like, is he undersized?
Is he a two?
Is he a true? Yeah. Is he a true shooting guard or is he a point guard? Like, like how do you put that role with him in the league, and then think about the players that's guarding him in this league? Like, I just have to be realistic. If you put Russell Westbrook on Jezreel de Jesus, it's not gonna happen.
No.
Just like the same thing with the Nationals team. Like when you put Anthony Edwards out there or something, like with the against, it's like it's even though he's his age, but it's still a man amongst boys.
Yeah. Exactly.
Ain't that it's kind of weird to say it like that. He's Anthony Edwards, way younger than probably our point guard, but then he's just dominating the game because he brings a different element, a different.
Yeah,
I was gonna say that another example about they win and they get the opportunity, like Manatee, like the Thompson twins. Like right now, he was balling in the summer league, and then he got I think he's playing with the Warriors in
something like that.
And for me, the best thing that happened for him is signing with the Warriors, because the Warriors, like development team, like they did. I think half of the team from the G League, like from there, they got drafted. And I think the best thing for him is that he's playing with the G League with them.
For sure.
And because right now he's balling right now. He's balling right now in the G League and in summer league, and the preseason he also balled a little bit.
Most definitely. And I seen him when he was in the summer league. He was doing pretty well. He was shooting that ball.
Yeah, he was shooting. So, he was like, I'm sure I'm not passing. I'm getting this opportunity.
I respect it because NBA, if you're not making shots, then you're probably gonna go right back to the G League.
Yeah.
So.
Right now in the NBA, like if you make like. If you shoot 5 threes and make 3 of them, like you're good. Like right now, the threes and going to the layup line and the layup line, like if you can get to the hole, like easy, or shoot a 3. Right now is getting to a hole or shooting a 3. That's basketball right now in the NBA.
Basketball.
That's the new basketball right now.
And how do you feel when you were in the G League? Because for many,
no mini game right now. There's no mini game.
But the G League, because many players want to be in the G League for many things. First is an opportunity to maybe do the big team.
For sure.
But also the pay. Sometimes because you want to be at least have a 10-day contract in the NBA, or sometimes the G League pays enough, depending. Right now they're increasing the salary cap in the G League, but. Is an opportunity, but I know that many players. I don't know if it was your situation, that they don't win enough money in the G League, so they decide to go a professional league like Puerto Rico, Mexico, Europe. That's
kind of like my situation a little bit, and when I got my chance of playing the game, I think I got because I was playing behind I think it was a top 4. Like power forward, small forward in the G League. His name was Othias Jeffers, and he was just killing every time he played, and it was hard to play behind that.
Right.
Even when you're a rookie, even when you could still do more, you still got to just sit back and wait for your turn, And I feel like I took my chance on waiting for my turn, but the one time I got a chance to get in the game, I did. I got 2 tip slams. I thought I was going to be him, but in their eyes, they're like, it's just part of the job. You know what I mean? And I respect that, because I'm like, I know this is business. You know what I mean? And like I said, when you're coming from the situation that I was coming from, they probably are just taking a chance on me. they not like securing the bag, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you know, this is the man, this is the go-to. And I respected that already because, you know, I play basketball. And so I think at that moment with the G League, I was like, all right, you know what, like, I talked to the coach, like, they probably weren't, like, really considering me or whatever, so I ended up wanting to take my chances to go play in Lithuania. And I mean, that was a great experience for me out there. I got the chance to play out there with a couple great players. I played in a couple games out there, and I'm not gonna lie, I think my first year going overseas wasn't my best year. Like, kind of we're a developing team in the moment, but the place that I was living in, I didn't like it. Okay. That's just pretty much what it was. Like, I just didn't like being in Lithuania. It was like in a Soviet Union type of place, so they really didn't like black people.
Oh, okay.
So every time I would, like, I got, man, I'm talking about spitting my food, like, stuff like that happened. And I was like, dang, like, you know, I kind of was stressed out. And so I really was like homesick. I was like, man, I can't do this. I gotta go. And, you know, like I said, I come from the bottom, you know. So to take and pack my stuff and just go all the way to Lithuania.
Yeah, that is
nothing. Like, and I'm like, oh my
just
God.
To play basketball.
I'm like, this is killing me right now. So then I think right in them moments was then when the Puerto Rican League was starting for me. And so that's when all the situation with my agent was like, man, it's already about to start. You can get ready to go to Puerto Rico. And that's when I went to the draft. And then that's when, like, the Carlos Emory kind of like let out a little bit. They were like, oh, like, that's Carlos Emory. That's the college Emory that they were waiting for. You know, like, oh, he came, he's dunking everything. Like, you know, that's kind of where I wanted to make my name. And so that's kind of like when they was calling about Air Emory and all that stuff. And that's kind of how everything transitioned from there.
Yeah, well, before I don't know if I'm gonna start like.
We're gonna go back to BSN, but now it's a little bit more fun. Could be a little bit controversial too.
No, for sure.
Who's your top 5 imports?
Top 5 imports.
BSN.
Thinking that for us, you play with one of the best.
Right. And you know, I'm never gonna take it away from Mike Harris, like, because Mike Harris is one of them guys. Like, you know, he always just got the job done. Like, that's one of the guys that I learned in the BSN, when it came to getting the job done, that's the person that it always reminded me of, because I never had the basketball like stat kind of like how he has it. Like every day, even when you know, before practice, you know, getting shots up, then you practice, and after practice, you're gonna get some more shots up, and then in the morning, you're gonna do it again. And you're probably gonna work out before you do it again. And I'm just like, you know, the life of being a pro. You know what I mean? As a young man, and I'm looking like, man, this is, you know, I did this in college. You know, cool. You know, you know, we were at Oregon. We had the best facilities. We had everything. Man, we had everything that you can imagine. I was like, man, you know, I feel like I could do anything. But you know, when you get to be around another pro athlete, like, you know, he played with the Utah Jazz, you know, he's very known. And I'm just like, you know, let me see, you know, I could probably kill this man, you know. Yeah. So every day in practice, we would battle, like, because we were about the same height. Yeah. We had the same kind of like frame. Like it was just always like that. So I just don't want to say that I was the guy or something that kind of built the Mike Harris that he was. But I'm telling you, in practice, we would battle. Like, sometimes I would bust his ass, and then sometimes, like, sometimes he just don't miss, and he's busting my ass. I'm like, oh.
Those Ponce teams, man, we were like, we were spoiled. We fans
about Ike.
I was just gonna say that. And my favorite candy is Mike and Ike. So you know what I mean. So when I got the chance to play with both of them, like, I'm like, oh, not Mike and Ike. Like, yo, that's kind of crazy. Like, yo, I be eating the candy, bro. And it's just funny with those guys. So.
Oh, that was a joke inside the team.
Yeah, so it was like, come on, man. And then we're winning too. And then I'm watching these guys. I'm talking about sometimes like when. it's those games where it's like you don't even have to do anything at this point. Like, I'm gonna go do my job, even if I score 7 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist today, because Mike and Ike scored 50 apiece.
That's how you know that team was stacked when you were coming off the bench.
Yeah, and shit.
Dang, like when you were coming off the bench.
I remember for us, I think that that was the best 3 years or 4 years that Ponce had in like in 10 years before that.
Yeah.
Since 2003, maybe.
Even my dad, like he grew up with Toñito, with Bobby Rio.
Okay.
Like with the old school Ponce, and they said, and I always asked him, what is the best Ponce team that they ever seen? He said, you guys. Those 3 years, that 3 year span, like
4 years old, 3 year, 4 year span, because you were from the bench. Sometimes Mike Rosarios came from the bench. Chris Gaston sometimes came from the bench.
They just had a little rotation.
Yeah, even like sometimes Carlos Emory started. Yeah, but Mike Rosario had less minutes, and it was crazy because the coach was like Nelson. Okay, who's gonna have the hot hand today?
Exactly.
So it's gonna be Carlos. So now you're gonna play. Or at least that's what we saw.
No, for sure.
No, it was crazy because like the practices were open. So I remember being in the practices with you, Mike Hardy. That's the picture that
I remember you saw it. I was like, man, make me feel old, man.
Yeah, I was like 14, 15.
The thing is that Mike Harris, like throughout the season, he put up good stats.
Right.
But I don't know why, but in the playoffs, he had like a switch. Like
it just like I'm telling you, it's a mental game with him because it's the worst part is he knows it. I think the best thing that happened with Mike was Ike.
Yeah.
Because I would literally see him like. I see them go talk to each other, like just like give that nod,
they have chemistry.
Like we about to be like, come on, it's time, like let's do it.
Let's play.
And like, I mean, when there's stuff that happened in the game, and like I promise you that never happens in practice, like type thing. I mean, I just love when everybody just like, like that, just like what happened, like I mean, even to like. I'll give you like something that happened in practice. This is funny. I promise you. If Carlos Emory, if you see this is funny, bro. Like, but there was one time I think Mike Harris bet Carlos Emory, I think like $1,000, like that he couldn't make like 100 shots or like make like 97 out of 100. And he had to shoot 20 shots in each point.
That's crazy.
And I promise you. He was like on the 4th spot, and you can see his arms starting to get heavy, but he's probably at like 78 out of 80 right now. He only missed 2. I'm like, ain't no way. Like I'm watching this man shoot and not miss like this. Like I'm talking about this is better than Clay and any other
Curry thing.
Like this is I seen Stephen Clay before the Stephen Clay. Like he's right here. And so I was watching it, and then I think it got to the end, and right at the end, I think he was like, it was like 8 or 10 more shots left, and he only missed 2, and then he missed 1, and then so the money's on the line, and I'm like, oh my God, and then he missed again. It was like 96 out of 100, and I was like, oh my God, you missed it by 1. He still gave him the money because come on now.
Yeah, 96%.
96% literally.
Ain't nobody in the BSN right now, and I got 1,000 right now. Ain't nobody's gonna make that. Not how you were shooting back in the day. I was like, that's
96.
Crazy.
Like that's crazy. Like that's even for a free throw.
And the free throw line, he was money too.
Man, he don't miss. He may be one of the best free throw shooter in history out here.
That's crazy. Like I think he averaged 93%.
93%.
I think something like that.
That's outrageous.
Yeah. And I think that's one year that he averaged like 93.5, 94.
Oh, so he went down one year.
Yeah. But still, his average for life are like 90.
Oh,
that's like even in NBA, that's top 5.
Top hands down.
Crazy. Like 90%. Like people doesn't think about it, but to make a free throw and miss 1 of 10 every time.
That drops.
And with people, with fans screaming, when the game is in the line and you have like, come down, I'm gonna make those 2.
You said how many? 2?
Yeah.
93%, baby. And then you popped those. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man.
I remember, like, I don't know if you can remember this game, but I'm sure you do. But I remember one particular game that I was watching. I'm gonna admit, I turned off the TV at halftime, but it was the 27-point comeback with Santurce, something like you guys were doing like 25.
Carlos Emory was playing.
I think Carlos Emory was playing in that team.
I want
it was over there in Santurce.
I think, you know what, I want to say that's the same game that I want to say that Carlos Arroyo got hurt.
Yeah, I think so. I think he got
I
hurt.
was guarding him, man. I remember he did some crazy move and they stepped back and just shot it. And I couldn't even believe it because, I mean, I'm over him, like, you know, and he has like a weird, when he has a shot that, you know, when he shoots it, it's kind of like
it's a good
he like kind of throws it a little bit, and he splashed it on me, and then I took it personal because I was like, oh hell no.
And you can say nothing, like it was
it's Carlos Arroyo. Like, if I do that much defense, and you know, at that moment in my career, I just felt like I was one of the best defensive players, like period, like because that's what I do. I put the straps on and let's play. And yeah, like in that moment, like he fired my ass up. I was like, oh my God. I was like, we about to take an L. And then like after that play, like we were playing again. Like I got to guard him again. But then like, I mean, like, you know, when somebody's just going guard you so much, your body's taking a toll.
Yeah.
You know, Carlos Arroyo was at that age, you know, and I already know. And I was guarding him so crazy. Like, I think like.
But you were young.
Yeah, and I was young, you know, so I had legs. I'm just choppy with him. And I think he tried to make a move. He couldn't get past me. I think something happened, like he hurt his leg or something. I'm not going to say that's the reason why we won, but I ain't going to lie, when he went out, that's when we came back.
Yeah.
But it, like, I don't want him to get hurt, but thankfully, like.
That's in that moment, I was like.
In the game, you're like.
I'm just kind of looking at him like, damn, I hope I ain't hurt. I don't want to be the one to be like, damn, I'm doing something dirty. No, I guard him straight up, you know.
It's part of the game, like.
And yeah, we came back and won, and I couldn't believe that because, you know. That sounds like some NBA stuff that happened with the parlays or something. Like, oh, how did they just come back from being down 27 and win by 10?
Yeah.
Something like that. It's like.
Going away from Ponce, like the big question that we wanted to ask you is about that trade from Ponce to Aguada.
Ooh.
Like a lot of people were mad at that one over there in Ponce because you were a fan favorite. Like
because that trade, like. For one, that time we didn't have no more deal, I think, right?
No, I think they weren't. No.
And we were like, bro, we
got to the
Uder, and then they took.
Eric Dawson's, and I remember all that.
We were like, bro, we need ballers, and then they took one. Bro, what are you doing, bro?
We have a young boys. We have a young boys. For a moment, like, there's no more young boys. Like everybody, like, was traded. And it was crazy, like everyone was traded, like Rosario like was gone, Gaston was gone, you were gone, and for you, like we were talking, Ivan and I were talking from in the trade period.
My true words were, ya la mano, no podían sacar a Yao López. No podían sacar a Yao López, güey.
It's crazy. So,
my bad, fanatic.
No.
Yao, I love you, but bro, come on, man. It's on you. You're making shit, man.
Talk it clear.
Yeah, so how do you feel? Like they noticed you before. It was a surprise that they knew that a trade was coming. It was like, you know what? Hey, Carlos, you're out for Aguada, so get your things and go.
Man, there's so much I could say about that. Like, let's just keep it short and sweet with that because there's so much things that. Can be like altered with that whole thing, but long story short, like it was like a little bit of legal trouble. I don't know what really happened off paper, but I think somebody kept telling me I was set up by the police because I got into it with a player over some things that were just out of my control because the let's just say the management already had their mind made up with the situation.
No, they didn't.
Even though like the situation kind of was in my favor because I didn't know what was going on with that because of something.
Yeah.
And long story short, when I told them that I didn't want to play no more, like because of the situation, they took that. I felt like they took that personal. And when I say they, I don't want to say I want to pick out certain people. They know who they are. You know what I'm saying? Whoever made it happen, because we all are not saints. But there's some things like we have in our personal life we do on our own. If some people smoke weed, they do what they do. Cigarettes, drink. I don't care. You can do whatever you want to do. Nobody judges you, right?
Yeah.
But I think that one time he just didn't like the fact that I want to just go to another team because of what happened between me and another player. And I was like, well, if this is what's going on and we're gonna do it like this, then I need to trade because I'm not here to do this high school games. Now I'm in the league. I'm making money.
Yeah, you're a professional player.
I know what it is now. And one time I went out on the last day that and the trade was already going to happen. I just didn't know what team I was going to yet. And right at the end of the night, I think I got a call from the manager of Ponce at the time. Yeah. And he was like, oh, just finally got you your trade. You're gonna go play with Aguada. Just pack your things, like go have yourself a good time, and you can leave tomorrow. And for some reason, like when I went out, random, it never happened my whole career in Ponce. When I went out to Hollywood Cafe, I was at the gas station on the side. There was a Mecca gas station, and 3 squad cars pulled up in front of my car, random. Yeah, really? Yeah, and then and just why are these 3 squad cars pulling up random with their lights off in front of my vehicle? Just kind of a lot of confusion.
Yeah, you're in a public place.
I'm in a public place, like all types of stuff, right? Yeah. And just hilarious, like.
What's the back trip for real? Like, what's the back trip?
It was just too obvious for me, like and I don't want to say it like that, like I don't want to go back into the past and be like, oh yeah, try to create something that wasn't there. But anybody that knows in PR, come on, like there are so many other crimes that is going on than to deal with a basketball player that's getting traded to Aguada. You know what I mean? On the last day, the last night. And I'm with 2 other people. At the time I was with Felix. I don't know if you remember my boy with the dreads. I was always with him. He used to work at Lola's.
I think that I saw him sometime with you because I saw you like in Plaza del Caribe. Yeah. I think that you were with him.
So that was.
Obviously, I didn't know him personally.
Yeah, exactly. But if people who were young at the time, like that watched me with the person I was with, it was always with that guy because he always had my back because he was a good legit person. You know what I mean? Like there was always a legit person in life, and he was always just straightforward about real life events. And so when he was with me, he really is a good guy. Never been in jail, never, doesn't get into half the stuff that I could ever get into, And long story short, when I seen the police cars pull up, I'm like, yo, did you do something? Yeah. And then I'm looking at my friend in the back, yo, did you anything going on? I'm wondering why they're in front of my car. And I have tints on my window, so they couldn't see me. Okay. And they can't see me, and I could see them. Yeah. And I know for sure they don't even think I'm in the car, because they're just sitting there, and I'm just like, so I just get out the car, like, yo, let's just go in Hollywood, let's go in the cafe.
Yeah, like normal.
And then from that point forward, they talking about they smell weed. For in that moment, I didn't even smoke. Like all types of stuff was happening. They towed my car. They just
crazy stuff.
Just the most crazy. Yeah. And and that whole moment, I had to get to Aguada without the vehicle. So that's kind of how I ended up going to Aguada.
Yeah.
And
damn.
Yeah, really bad.
And then it's crazy because
it's
then it's crazy. That's
crazy.
And then you know how your mental is. I'm so angry. Like, and then, you know, then the same following year, then I win the championship with Aguada.
Yeah.
And then it's just
It was against Ponce, right?
it's just crazy how you go against. I went against Ponce, and I took care of business with Ponce. You know what I'm saying? Just then that thing is a cluster too. Just to know that I ended up not even wanting to play with Aguada for just a mental, some stuff that just had nothing to do with basketball, and it just like I say, the stories or whatever everybody else wants to tell it.
I got some basketball, give it opportunity like to get revenge.
It's like, but then it's just like I know the work I put in the whole season. The numbers didn't lie. I was averaging like 15, 16 a game, and like I was going crazy in the beginning. I was doing like 25, 30, 25, 21. I'm looking at the numbers like, oh man, like I can't be stopped.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like we didn't have a team like Ponce either. Like we had the Mike, Ike, all that. No, it was me, Abreu. Like we had the KJ Mount.
It was all native.
We had Emmy. We had Holland. We had what's our big man?
The big man.
I know who it is too.
And I think
he was bald headed. He wasn't like crazy, like
you know who
athletic. He was just nice. But it was just like we had just a great, the circuit, the man.
Maura, oh my God,
man,
that dude.
He just out of nowhere just gave us that spark, like and it just crazy.
I remember 2 minutes left in the game, and we were up by 10, I think 11.
And
that dude,
and just shut it down.
Crazy.
They made like 3 straight threes, something like that.
Nah, and the thing about that whole situation. It's like, man, the intuition was so crazy, like, because, that's the only thing I wanted, like, just to win a chip with them, like, and against them, against Ponce. And it's just like, I just want to set that barrier right there, like, you guys will never take me down. And on top of that, I would have to do, while I was playing and getting all them points, I had to go do community service. I had to go do like basketball, like all types of little stuff. I had to take drug classes. Man, I had to do all of this and make sure I go back and then have to get buckets. Like it was just like all that suffering throughout the whole year was the reason why we were doing so well.
My father is he loved basketball, like the father of the three of us. And when that trade happened, like my dad normally he knows many people that are close to the team, but not close enough, like not manager at all. But that the restaurant that is up like really in front of him, or Pachin. It's really So normally they go to in the radio and this stuff, and my father told me like it was stupid thing. Like what he told me, like it was something stupid. What happened with you, like, and like past the year, and I remember father saying like Ponce should never like put Carlos Emory out. Like it was a mistake. And that same year, like you beat us, like balling, making things happen, like. Having great game, like it's not like we changed a player that was on the bench, like at the end of the bench, like was a player that was starting games for us. And honestly, what we received from you, like in the trade for you, it was not enough.
For sure.
And it was like it hurt. Like it hurt because you beat us. So it was like
for sure.
So before keep going, we have only like 3 questions left.
Okay.
Do you think that in the future you may play with Pete Ponce? Because you're loved in Ponce. Like out of the management, I know that this is a business.
There's different management right now.
It's a business. To be honest, it's business. I know that people doesn't understand it, but we understand. There's some business about the money, the years, on what do you want, or what the team have in mind for your role. Because now you're not a rookie, like you're George Young, but you're veteran too.
Yes, sir.
So you know how to manage things like different, and you can help others too.
For sure.
So in the future, I think you have many seasons left. Do you think like someday like we will see you with the Leones shirt again?
Well, it's always Ponce for me for life. I even got the lion on my hand. You know what I mean? That'll never go away. So like, I mean, as of right now, I don't ever want to speak into the future too strongly.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, I wonder what it would be like playing in Ponce again after all these years. You know, every time I go to Ponce, it's no love lost. You know, everybody knows what's up when I come out there, and that's just one thing I'll never take away from them. Like they show the mass love I've ever had, you know. And for right now, what I do know is, you know, I'm in Kebs now, you know, so I just don't want to take away from the fans from out here too, because like they've made this place for me feel like home too, you know what I mean? And for what happened in Ponce, I will never say that would be the reason why I would never go back though. Like, for me, I would only go back to try to give them another championship before my career would end. That's how I kind of would look at it. Like, if my years were to like drop a little bit, and you know, my time on the court or whatever, I mean, I hope I would just stay at caballo the whole time. Like, I would hope. Yeah. But if it ever comes down to it, and you know, something were to happen and they were to give me a call, and let's say I was a free agent or something, I wouldn't mind giving it an opportunity or another chance again, you know, because like I said, I feel like that's something that they deserve too, like, because everything kind of happened like sporadic, you know, like off of some stuff that should have never happened, you know. Sure. So, and I think if that never happened, I'd probably still be in Ponce to this day, like, and that's the truth, because, you know, I think it was more than basketball when it came to Ponce. After we were winning so much, you know, we were like, it became like, okay, now they are winners, and they probably gonna keep winning with this like nucleus that they have, because I mean, I was in love with Ponce, like, so every time I played, I left it all out there. You know what I mean? Like, if I dunked the ball, you know, I'm going to the fans like, yo, like, I'm here, baby. Yeah, you see it. Like, talk to me. Like, I had the rings on at one point when we were in the winning moments. Like, you just show them, like, you can't get these. Like, you got to win for these. Like,
these are not free.
Yeah, you got to work for that. Like, and that's the real reason why I would go back to Ponce, because just winners. We winners out there. Yeah. They were winning.
Yeah, man, Ponce is a place where, Ponce is a weird place, because if you don't win, you have problems.
Oh, that's a fact.
Yeah, you have problems.
At least I call them the Knicks.
Like, if you don't win, you have problems, even though like you can be a caballo and have like 30 in 4 games in a row, 40, 50 games. My heart is like, I think my heart was the only one that was excluded. Like, he can have a low game of 14 points, it's okay. Like, he's a monster. But you can have a 30 points game twice in a week, but you have one of what? Right. And we're like, oh, Carlos Emory, he's trash.
Yeah.
He's trash. And you're like, and even though you won, like Ponce won, you're like Carlos Emory is trash, because he made only 4 points. Even though it was 2 from 3 field goals, it's like, Carlos Emory is trash. Mike Rosario, no, he's trash.
Yeah, no, that's a fact.
Yeah, even though we are winning, like Ponce is a very difficult people.
It's an emotional balance. It's emotional balance there.
Even though when we won, it's difficult for the other teams to get in Ponce. When we are hyped, it's difficult. Like, we need to manage not only the players, we need to manage the fans that are screaming.
It just got, you know what, man?
They're just like, don't let them by 10
years. What made it worse out of all of that was, like you said earlier, after they got rid of players, and then they lost more, then it just got more empty. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was just like, now when they lose, now everybody has something to say. Like, oh, y'all see what happened, see what you did. Now it's just like,
and they let you know that there's some fans that it doesn't matter if we lose or we win, we're gonna be there. Ponce is not gonna be like that. Do you lose? We're gonna let you know that we don't like this and we won't go.
For sure.
And we win, you're doing a good job, we're gonna be there. For me, something like is pretty incredible. Even though we went to a game for another franchise. Arecibo.
Yep.
With all due respect to Arecibo and the management, it was the time when Anuel was the owner, and it was Beasley was there.
Yeah, Beasley was there.
Beasley, like
He dropped 38 that game.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think they lost anyway, so I think they lost.
What you said before, it doesn't matter. But it was empty. Like we came from Ponce to Arecibo to saw the game, to see the game, and it was empty. I was like, man, you need they were winning that year. You need to be here.
No,
and in Ponce, when you're winning, they're gonna be
there.
And if you lose, you're gonna see anyone.
But
there's something big. I don't know in Quebradillas it's the same. I know they are good, great fans too.
And Cavs, I mean, they have that winning spirit too.
Yeah.
So even and I don't want to say to have the comparison from Cavs to Ponce type thing, but when it comes to the basketball part of it, if you're not winning, it's gonna be empty. I mean, I've seen it so empty one time that it's just in the first Palco area. Here you go.
Yeah.
That's all the tickets you get, and they can kind of just shut up the downstairs. Oh god, it's okay, but then it makes me crazy when you have NBA players, big time players here, and then it gets empty. They don't care.
You
don't care. You're not winning.
They're not winning. Bye.
We went for a game. I remember a game from my mother. My mother never goes to games. Just to see, I just went to a game and paid Palco just to see Hassan Whiteside. I was like, people, we were losing. That game, he made 35 and 18, something like that. And it was empty because we were losing. I was like, do you know who Hassan Whiteside is? It was crazy. And he's here, but people the market cousin, we don't care. We're losing. And it's crazy.
You remember that a few years ago he was improved player, almost going.
Leader in blocks in the whole NBA. He almost made an all-star game.
That's the big fish, man. That's the 100 million, man. You can't say nothing to that man because he has proven himself. You know what I'm saying? And so. First off, I respect him for coming down here, giving Puerto Rico just as a whole island, just as a whole just club for real with sports, an opportunity to I guess exploit Puerto Rico a little bit more, to give to show people damn, you know what, there's a reason why I'm coming out here too, it's let's not even talk about Hassan Whiteside just too much. Then you look at B Knight too, Brandon Knight.
Yeah.
And then it's just he was the #1 player in the nation. I remember watching him growing up and stuff.
He's your teammate,
and now he's my teammate. And now I'm
one game, rookie year, 55.
Yeah, I'm just bro.
This year with Moody also.
Yeah.
I think Moody was a top 3 pick in the draft.
Yeah.
Top five. Denver.
And then we got the chance to be with Bron and shit. Them are big moments in your career where you realize the type of person you're playing with.
Yeah.
So that's when I look at other players I hate to put it in perspective, but if you want to compare a native, and then how some people are complaining about having a third import or all that type of stuff. I'm bro, when you really look at it, it's kind of the opportunity to let it be known if you are good enough to even make that import just ride the bench now. You know what I mean? I'll give you an example. Wheelo Cruz. I love talking about Wheelo because he always is gonna give out his he's gonna play with his heart. You know what I mean? And I know he love the game. But just sometimes maybe he might not get the NBA or G League or go play in the top league in China, but what I'm saying is you just notice a winner. So when somebody does their job, then it's bigger than basketball. You know what I'm saying? Because say if I'm driving in a lane, and let's say this guy hit fucking 6 threes right now. As sometimes an NBA player will come to the league and they don't care if you hit 7 or 8 threes. If I get the ball, I'm going to the basket. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But us as I put myself in perspective. As a player, I sometimes I know I can just go and just do that. Just like an NBA player, because I come here as an American first and then Puerto Rican. You know what I'm saying? But then I'm realistic, you know. I'll be like, oh, I'm a drive, but if I pass it out there, then I did my job. And that's
like if I drive and I pass it for the coach, I'm gonna look pretty.
Yeah, but then it's just like I'm doing this because this is gonna make my money.
Yeah.
Like, but then I know the position it is too, where it's like you got to ask yourself, like, damn. But if I don't go do this, am I taking away my less chances of like kind of like getting my NBA shot?
Yeah.
That it kind of gets you get to that fucked up predicament in your head.
It's a fog.
And it's a level of play in your head where you gotta fight that. Like man, I could say like so many Puerto Rican players that deserve a chance. You know what I'm saying? But I put it in perspective with Carmelo. Well, shit, you could go with Team Puerto Rico, and then y'all can take an L, and you probably might not play in the NBA.
Yeah.
It really could be that simple.
That's simple.
And then be like, well,
could be one bad game.
And then they like, oh, he probably just trash.
Yeah.
Ain't that the Puerto Rican concept?
Yeah. Or he may be a legend in the NBA.
Or he could be a legend in the NBA. Yeah. It's that simple. It really do come down to that. But like I say, that's just what comes with this league. Like it's not the same in G League. You know, G League, it's a business. You can wake up, eat, sleep that shit. You know what I'm saying? Out here, you can drive, you can chill, you can do whatever you want, but just make sure you suit up and play. And you out here, you have to grow yourself into like a worker, like a hard worker. Like, yeah, you could go do all that every day. You could go out, you have a drink, you do all that type of shit out here, but if you actually like tighten up and you put the work in every single day, like I said, Mike Harris was one of the only people I know in this league till this day that stuck to the formula, and that's why he was winning. Yeah. Like I'm talking about, that's why he he never really got hurt. Like he never really got hurt. Like if y'all look at look at all the games, he was rarely hurt.
We gotta put two people.
Yeah.
Mike Harris, but this is not a reserve. Pero que jugó parecido el Prieto, ya lo como se me olvidó ese loco. Que jugó con Vuelta y
Walter Hodge,
papi, ¿cómo se me olvidó ese hombre? ¿Cómo se me olvidó ese hombre, papi?
No, I'm not gonna lie. At one point, he was going crazy in the league. Like I thought he was going to the NBA.
Yeah.
I for sure thought he was gonna go, like, because you know I watched him, but
at least a G League starter.
Yeah.
At least.
The only reason I said it was because, all right, I'm not trying to say this ever down him, like, you know, like, because that's my guy. Like, you know, I respect his game to this day because he still goes out there as like he's older than me and he still puts in work. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But the truth was that, like, what position you gonna play him in?
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't a point guard.
He's like a combo guard, for real.
He suffered the same thing like the Jesus. Yeah. We don't know. Like, the thing is that a lot of, like, in Puerto Rico, like Carlos Emory is the same thing. Like, is he a point guard or a combo guard?
Yeah.
Or he's too small for being
shooting guard.
To be a shooting guard, but he scores like a 2.
Yeah, but then he's a scorer. So then you play him at the 1, and then he's like, does he pass the ball? He know how to pass the ball.
He doesn't have the mindset of passing first. I'm a scorer.
Yeah.
And if you need me to make a pass, I'm gonna do it.
I can do it.
But I don't want it. I can do it.
No, that's a fact.
That never happened with us.
Everybody always compared that Carlos Arroyo, JJ Barrera thing. Like, I remember that growing up too. Like, how's JJ in the league and he's shorter? And well, you know what? He was winning.
Yeah, he was winning, and for me, we all respect to Carlos Arroyo that we expect sometimes having him in an interview. But Carlos Arroyo knew to be in his role.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Carlos Arroyo, he had the potential to be like starter. But he started some games with Miami, even Boston. But it was. I'm fine coming from the bench. If that's what's gonna get me the money and the winning, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna have 13 seasons, 11 seasons here.
That's how I feel.
And it's a mindset. I think it's very difficult because sometimes I think for you may happen that you're in the bench and you see someone hopping and you're like, I'm better than him.
Right.
Like you look at it, I can do like I'm 3 times better than him.
Right.
Like he's 5 years younger, but I can throw 30 every night if I want to, but that's not what the coach wants
or
what the team needs. And I think that's something very difficult. I think that's something that happened with Carlos Arroyo, that he was sometimes coming from the bench and he looks at the starters and he's not better than me.
Right.
And I want to play because I know that he's not better from me. I can do better, and that's something that happens many times. And that what you said is that you need to be in line. Like you need to wait your turn, but sometimes if the waiting time is too long.
The time. Oh my God! Like it's like you feel like you have so much time, but you have so little, such a small window.
Yeah.
Like you can't put that much time in a small window. Because I mean, it's like your brain, you can't log on all this info in your head and then expect to like say it all.
Yeah.
No, you can't do that. Like you have to like hear it, learn it, hear it. Now you can say it. Now you can talk it. Now you can do it. And that's just the way life is. Like we don't wake up and we just able to do stuff. And so I respect the players like Arroyo that like. Because the mental is kind of like I had that moment, like I'm probably winning championships. I'm like, man, well I got 2 with Ponce, I got 1 man with Aguada, man, that's all beautiful to talk about, you know what I mean? But the truth is like the job not done for me. Yeah. Like I just like now if I could get like 4 more, like I can just really just. When you don't gotta say nothing no more, you're just like, this is what I do. I like when people talk for me and I don't have to say it no more. You know what I mean? Like that's the humble part about me. Like that's why I got y'all probably here with me. Like the humble part is just like, people recognize the real part. Like like I don't really like to dig deep into the fans and like who's a fanatico than me. Nah, like I respect the people that really are fans of mine, like, and I appreciate what people tell me, but the truth is that I do want more, like, and that's what it really comes down to. Like I want more because of the real stuff that fans know about me, because fans that are fans, they probably just know the numbers, the points, like, what he did on the court today, did he have an attitude, whatever, right? And then the fans that hear the off the court, they're like, that's the reason, he's a bad guy, and then it's like, he had an attitude, that's why, them type of fans. But the real truth is the people that really take the opportunity to look into, like, who a player really is, like, those are the people that really understand like what's going on with the game. Like when they see Hassan Whiteside come down here and then they see what he does and then they try to compare him to what he does to the NBA, I'm like, come on now. Yeah. Come on, don't be that fan. Bro. 100 million. I'll be like, you don't ever talk about it. Like, it's not nothing to talk about. Like he can do that any given night. And probably not in his bag right now.
It's pretty stupid because he's a pro, bro. Yeah. Go 1-on-1, bro. Go 1-on-1. He's getting you every time. Sorry, bro.
He's a 7-footer, and I watched him in practice, like, make threes. I ain't never seen him shoot 3 in the NBA. And I'm like, but then when you come to this league, remember, the NBA, the 3-pointer is a little bit further. Yeah. And so when I'm seeing him shoot at this 3-point line, I just see what he's working on. Yeah. I don't see him just going out there sniping threes now. I'm like, nah. But then fans are thinking when he missed threes now, he's just trash. Yeah. I'm like, y'all got to think about it. Like, he probably has to shoot that shot out here because you know what? The big man can just sit in the lane in this league. Yeah.
It's different.
Then, it's a different game.
FIBA rules.
So I have to. That's why you look at it different. Like, I see, when the DeMarcus Cousins came out here, started sniping like that. Yeah. And then Okafor started shooting it. Yeah. Like, it's just like, oh my God. Now I'm looking at everybody shooting threes now. Like, that's the only way you're gonna get back to the NBA now.
Yeah, that happened with a best example for that for me in NBA is Brook Lopez. Like first time in his career, he was a great defender, a role player, and like Stephen Curry like explodes, and Harden, and Curry, Klay Thompson, even LeBron James making threes.
Right. Yeah.
And then you see Brook Lopez making 7 threes in a night, and you're like, he's a 7-footer.
I'm talking about he's shooting them too. It don't matter. You pulling up in your face too now, like. And it's a long shot, but he's.
And he makes like 40% of threes.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I respect that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you, like in the BSN, like there's a thing in the league that they want to put a third import in.
Yeah.
What is your opinion about putting because there's a lot of like native players like Eddie Casiano, Dalmau also said in an interview that this is a pro league. This is not
Development league.
This is not a development league. This is a pro league.
So so I know, like I said, I don't want to like ever battle against any players that are going against this rule. But for me, I think it's great. Like I think it brings more value to the league. It set the standard for a lot of like. I'm sorry if you want to play in Liga Puerto Riqueña, bro. Go ahead and just sign out. Just say I don't want to play in the BSN anymore. Go Liga Puerto Riqueña and then see if you can get better and then come back to the league because, like you say, this is a pro league and this is what it is. Like this is not what it ain't. You know, like if you want to come here and you want to make money and you want to play with the best in the world, like. Remember, we're not saying it, if we're not mistaken, we were just talking, we were saying that, damn, how is it crazy that some of the native players probably are better than the NBA players? That's the way how are other people saying that? But then you don't want to bring them down here so you can just bust their ass.
Yeah,
and you can get demonstrate yourself and show that I do deserve that.
Like see where your game is at. Like improve. Like you want like it's like competitive in the practice too. Like I want to be better than this import.
Like I'm like, how many times did like I look at like Ty Odiasu. Like, yo, I'm like, when you watch him play against like Okafor or something like that, and then you know Okafor is trying to make it back to the NBA, I promise you every team is probably taking a look at Okafor too. So I would try to demonstrate every chance I get against Okafor.
What we said before when Jordan Muhammad.
Shabazz.
Like they're looking at Shabazz. But you're playing great and you make us a poster over him.
Yeah.
So
they might feel like, damn, we got this extra, this is for pick. Like Carlos Emory, like they did this against Shabazz, like let's pick him.
Yeah, now, we didn't see him in the, who is this guy? Like that's how they do it.
Yeah. 10-day contract.
Now you get a 10 days.
Like
you just get the door open to you. Like I said, you might not be LeBron James, but you know what? You can step in there and you can get your opportunity as an Andre Ingram or something. Like
for example, there's John Brian Scalabrine.
Yeah, Scalabrine.
Scalabrine. He said one time for a fan, like, I'm closer to LeBron than you are to me.
That's
the same thing, for a fan, like if you are close to the NBA, you promise that you're better than a big percent of the even professional players. You're even better than them.
Yeah.
Because you're close to less than 1% of the top basketball player in the whole world.
In the world.
So basically, it's the same thing. Okay, if you have the door open, it means that you're like in an elite group of players that you're even considered to be on it. And it's the same thing. What you said, like, is some players that are not in NBA because they don't have the opportunity to open that door. And I think that this the third import will help to open many doors to many players, and I think it's good. Like, I mean, I'm talking like as a fan.
No, for sure.
I understand when the players say no, and like, I want less space for natives, but I think it's a whole different thing. Like, you're gonna need to train harder, to play harder, and they're gonna open doors, many doors, even for rookies,
for sure,
sophomore players. It's gonna be different.
I just think about pillars like just before I speak. I was just thinking like I want to stole players like Wheeler, for example. You know, and I love that I play with him too because I'm not like
You remind me a lot of a young you.
Man, I tell him this, man,
he reminds me a little bit of a young
if I were to call him and be like, yo, how many times have I told you that? Like, I tell him that so much. I'm like, bro, like, you remind me of me because all I would do is just dunk.
And play
defense. Just play hard. I don't even care if I mess up. Like, if you just go hard, trust me, you're doing something. Like, but once you stop doing it as a young man, like a young player like him, like people look right past him because there's too many out here now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a lot of players out here that are probably just like him. But you know what? they just looking for the one that's just gonna go that much harder. You know what I'm saying? All the time. Because like, man, like Victor didn't come out of nowhere. Wembanyama, like all these other players are not just coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like they actually doing it and they proving it. And I guarantee you, Victor come down to this league, or you can name any big time player, they will crush this league. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the realistic part, because I could say like Okafor was just dominating the league even though they weren't winning. But then I just say it like when you're winning, like all right, I'll give you a perfect example, and you guys tell me if this is like true or not. If Kebs would have beat every team right now with Wheeler going crazy every game in the playoffs, y'all tell me he wouldn't got an NBA shot?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
At least a summer league shot.
Yeah, but I'm just, and I'm talking about putting up numbers every single game.
Yeah.
I'm talking about being a pro, shutting up. Don't say nothing. You just put my shoes on. I'm about to go out there. I'm gonna give them 25, 20, I don't know, 15 and 10, whatever numbers you want to put. But then you're coming out and you're winning. Your plus minus efficiency is like, damn, 20, 25. But man, you just, every time you in a game, everything is positive.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the feeling that a lot of players like want to have or not they want to have, but they need to have before they even want to like look towards that direction.
Sure.
For sure, for me.
Okay.
So are we gonna
reaching to the end, right, of the questions.
Yeah.
We want to discuss who are your 5 GOATs.
the top 5
Your top 5
all
guys.
time?
You want to put them in order? It's okay. I think.
You want to put it in order? Or, we don't know who's your number 1. So who's your number 2, 3, and 4?
All right, so I'm a big Jordan fan, like, yeah, for sure. I ain't gonna lie, I love KD, even though I just love him just as the best like offensive like scorer in the world. I'm now becoming an Anthony Edwards fan. He will be as good as people are saying in the future. LeBron is there, like he's just got to be there. I'm not gonna lie, he can do it. He can do it.
I got my 3 like I got it's good list, but I got my 3 that for me had to be default, and it's Jordan, LeBron, Kobe.
Jordan, LeBron.
For me, those 3 had to be in your top 5.
But then Kobe was gonna be my like 5th, just because like Kobe was a person that he'd always shoot the ball, but he was always gonna get. You know what I'm saying? Kobe is always gonna, just like he wasn't probably the best shooter, but he gonna shoot the ball. Like, but I know what he was great at. It's like it's like saying like Jordan was the best free shooter. So I'm like, nah, I know a couple of players that probably had a way better sniper than Michael Jordan, but I just like Michael Jordan because he was a winner.
Hey, but
like he get it done.
So a little bit controversial, but different times too. Kobe needed to adapt like quick, because he was in a time that everybody wanted to be Jordans. You know, there were Kobe, there were Gilbert, there were T-Mac, there was a lot of people playing just like Kobe
to imitate.
Just Kobe needed to work a lot more harder. The payoff came out with 2 championships.
That's kind of the imitation thing I was saying earlier. I was like, everybody wanted to imitate Jordan. That's why I say, like, in Kobe's time, he was like feeling like he was like the next Jordan or something.
Yeah.
Like, think about it, he was doing the fadeaway, the tongue, like everything. Like, and so,
do you think right now, like Steph Curry has that Jordan
like that?
Like every kid want to imitate Steph?
He doesn't have the Jordan like he's like a very great player. Like I'll never take that away from Steph Curry. He won a chip. Like, you know, like he's probably one of the best shooters ever alive, hands down. But at the same time, like I'm just realistic. I'm like, when you surround a great shooter with a great player, like like if I put LeBron with Steph Curry right now, I guarantee Steph Curry probably have 40 a game. Yeah. Because Steph Curry doesn't need the ball in his hands to score. You know what I mean? Yeah. But then if he has the ball in his hand, he's a dual player. You know, he can do whatever he wants, and then he'll make him better. But Steph Curry doesn't have a player that can make him better on his team. He is the player to make his team better. Right.
He has that attention. Yeah. Like that. Okay, we're gonna leave this guy open. But the thing is that guy's open, like he's gonna drain the shot.
Right.
That's why he makes him better because the attention that he brings.
I take out Draymond Green and put Bonchero on the team.
Paulo.
Yeah.
Paulo Bonchero?
Something like that. Like I guarantee Golden State goes like this.
Yes.
And then Steph Curry's stats go like this. Like that's how I look at it. But then it's just like because Draymond Green is set back to only can do what he can do.
Yeah, he has a role.
You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I look at it. Like
That's crazy because y'all remember that the last championship that we won, right?
Yeah.
Andrew Wiggins.
yeah,
He was crazy.
Yeah.
And for real, he was like the only like forward all-star that they had that year, and it was like Curry, Thompson, the extras.
And people keep getting it twisted. Andrew Wiggins was a big time player.
Yeah.
And still for me, he gets the job done.
Yeah,
He's
he gets it.
Yeah. At one time, Harrison Barnes, like, and people forget about him. He was the #1 player, like, in the nation too, wasn't he? Like, I'm like, man, and then people forget about him. I'm like, oh man, there's people that really, like, and I got a chance to play against Harrison Barnes. Like when I was like in like AAU, he dropped like 50, I dropped 40, but he dropped 50 and he lost. So we got to talk to Harrison Barnes today. Like that's kind of what happened with me. Like, and that's kind of like the career of me understanding how life goes. Like that's the longevity of life. Like when you start seeing how like the roles may switch, like that's real. Like if you didn't do it at the right time when the opportunity was there, your door might just start closing a little bit, but then like I say, that'd be the reason that you go that much harder. Like I'm for real, and that's why I respect certain type of players that, like you say, the Mike Harris's went to Utah, probably left the league.
He went to China.
Yeah, he went to China, went crazy out there.
He had again 93.
Yeah.
93, 95 points in a game.
Like who does that?
Even though it was two overtimes, I think 93 points.
3 overtimes. That's crazy numbers. Like it's like.
Didn't you have had like 100 and something points game?
The leagues, but it was crazy. That game I think might have like 93, like 25 rebounds, something like that, in a triple overtime. Crazy. It was right after he played here. Like, it was like 34.
I remember that.
Like it was very fast.
Yeah.
Like he got a big contract over there because he won 2 championships here.
Yeah.
So he went over there and it was like.
Yeah, we give you $1 million a year, like easy here. Take that, let's get it. Like
93.
So
winner. When you're a winner, man, NBA, okay, fine, but you about to come to China, we're gonna give you some money.
Yeah, like $1 million is $1 million. Like $1 million is $1 million.
So the season is like 4 months away, something like that.
So what's it? We're in November, December, January, February, March. Yeah, about 4 months away.
4 months away. What can I expect about you in this year in the league?
I'm not gonna lie, dog. These days, I've just been hitting the weight room. I've been doing basketball clinics with the kids. Did with yours.
We're gonna leave the info in the video. So
no, most definitely. Like I think that I'm at that age, like kind of like everybody says the Larry Bird and all that. Like when I was young, Mike Harris was like at that age where like I feel where his age is now. Like I'm like 33. That's kind of like how I was looking at him when we were winning the championship. He was 33, and I'm like, I'm looking at this. Like I'm looking at him like kind of like, oh, look at this older dude, like type thing. Like yo, he's still gonna get it done. I know what he can do. At that point, he was probably at like his all-time like prime though. You know what I mean? Like he dropping 50 at that age. I'm watching him and Ike do it. Like, and they both were older than me. I'm like, man, he went to Sacramento, Utah. Man, what's up? Like, but then in my practices and stuff, I used to just kill those guys. You know what I'm saying? But then it wasn't about the fact of killing them. I was making them better. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like how they took it. Yeah. Like they want to go against these young bulls out here, like that's killing and doing that thing. Like me, the Mikes, the Chris, like the players that give them that like okay, let me improve my game even more. That's why I took them so serious. So that's kind of how I took it this year. Like I'm taking it serious. Like all the weight room, all the shots up, everything, the days in, the nights, all the work that I put in. I'm just like, okay, I'm in my Mike Harris year, like, because you know, and I respect him enough to say that, because like I said, I watched him do it, and I watched Ike. Man, I don't never want to take away from Ike Diago either. That man was a machine.
He was the captain of the Nigerian team.
Exact man, and I watched him kill with the Nationals team. I watched him going crazy over there.
Yeah.
So when I think about them times, I think about the same thing this year. Like, I'm like, man, this is my time. Like, you know, it doesn't matter about really anything else. Like the money, all that stuff is all gonna be there. I know after I do my job.
Sure.
But what I do know right now is if I do my job at the best I can do with that, maybe I might get my Mike Harris opportunity.
Sure.
You know how I'm saying? So it's just like, maybe, like, you know, I'm realistic. If I didn't get the NBA shot, I'm just real enough to know that if I go hard enough, I'll probably have the best year out of my whole career if I take it that serious. And these days I've been taking this shit like, and excuse my language like always, but man, I'm taking this shit so serious right now that like I can't think about nothing else like but just making sure that it don't matter what happens this off season right now. When I step on that floor, from the first game to the 35th or 36th game or whatever, I will make sure I do whatever it takes to get myself over the waters and play at the best level, the highest level that I've ever played in my life. Because this is the time, like, and I'm not young no more, so I want to treat my body 10 times better than what it is now.
Yeah. It's been a day, man.
For sure. Yeah, you already know that's right.
So thank you, Carlos, for having us in your home. We expect you have the best season of your career. With Quebradillas. When you go to Ponce, you're gonna be there. Or maybe if you hear a scream like.
We're gonna scream for Ponce, but if you hit a shot, we're gonna scream for you too.
We normally see Entrevista, and we normally see behind the visit team.
Okay.
Because we like to scream with the coaches. Okay. Especially Ocasión. It's very funny.
He goes crazy.
Yeah, he goes crazy.
That's my dog, but I know he takes. I know.
When you look at us, it's like.
We can't though. He's with the Gigante.
I don't care.
Oh, okay. That's right. That is right.
We got a root.
No, it's BSM.
What the BS is.
BSM is different thing. But thank you. We're gonna put the number and your team about your basketball clinics. It's great. I have my students have a clinic with Carlos Emory. It was great. They love it. It was like a train with a pro, play like a pro.
It's definitely that.
So thank you. Just like, share, comment. We're gonna have a lot of more interviews with great players, coaches, and athletes. So thank you, people.
Love.